My dear students, let me welcome you to my educational video on normal distribution. So far, if you look at my previous videos, okay, we have discussed about two most important discrete frequency series. One is called as binomial, and another is called as Poisson. And next is going to be what is exactly supposed to be now is normal series. If you compare binomial series, Poisson series, and the normal series, okay, you will come to know about yes, some unique differences between these two series. So, which are going to be very much, I can say, versatile in nature. Of course, to some extent they are different. To some extent they have some common features too, like that. And if you say binomial distribution, I said your n is finite. I said you will going to have two different parameters, p as well as q. Both are known things. And when you say Poisson distribution, here n is going to be infinity. P as well as q, we may not be knowing about these two. I can say the variables or the parameters, and at the same time your probability of that particular expecting a variable is going to be very much minimum. It tends to 0. I said rare events, and at the same time binomial distribution as well as Poisson distribution, they are going to be discrete in nature, that is discrete frequency distributions. Again, this is discrete frequency distribution. The discrete means specific. X as a random variable, this is discrete in nature. And here also x is my random variable, this is discrete in nature. And when you say the variables, we have both discrete as continuous variables. Now if the x is going to be a continuous variable, and if the x is going to be a continuous variable, now I am going to have two different parameters. One is called as mean and another is called as ST. If you go back to statistics and its preliminaries, okay, we have a fair good amount of knowledge regarding measures of central tendency as well as measures of dispersion. The best measure of central tendency is mean. The best measure of dispersion is ST. And normal distributions are based on x as the continuous variable, not discrete in nature, and mean as its important parameter, and one more supporting parameter is ST. And these two parameters are going to play a very decisive role, okay, in formulating normal distribution series. And more than that, normal distribution curve follows a specific pattern of bell-shaped curve. Now if you say bell-shaped curve, and if you're having two different tiles, one is called as positive infinity and the negative infinity side. Now this is, I can say, from right to left, this is going to be decreasing curve, and now this is going to be the increasing side, minus infinity to plus infinity, and the plus infinity to minus infinity, and more than that, these half tiles, okay, they are symmetrical in their area. It is 0.5 as well as 0.5. This is the two segments of this curve. The two different segments of the curve is 0.5 and 0.5. These are some of the basic features of your bell-shaped curve. I am not going to discuss more of its features, but I'll be giving you some important aspects regarding how the normal distribution concept can be used to solve, I can say, business and commerce related, I can say, applications. And the same normal distribution curve can be further used to formulate the technical issues, or maybe theoretical concept regarding Six Sigma, total quality management, process capability index, these things are the higher concepts to be studied later on in your courses, maybe can say, the higher end of your studies, maybe the higher end of your studies, I can say. Now at this point of time, okay, to begin with, I can say to start with the normal distribution, okay, try to have 2 or 3 major understandings. One is called as the mean and SD as its 2 important parameters, and normal distribution follows a bell-shaped curve. Okay, and again you are supposed to have in mind that this normal distribution curve never touches x-axis. Okay, I can say to a lemon perspective, I can say this normal distribution curve is a kind of floating kind of thing. It never touches x-axis. And now, okay, this is going to be an x-axis, and now this is going to be y-axis. Okay, let me give you some specific details about the normal distribution curve to brief it. I'll be focusing more on the I can say application side of it. Okay, at I can say for your prescribed standards of learning. Now, if you say this bell-shaped curve, and more than that, try to have x-axis and y-axis. Okay, and let me consider this first coordinate itself, first plane itself. Now, if you say this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis, I have this curve, a floating curve, a bell-shaped curve. Now it's 0.5 this end, 0.5 this end, and I call it as plus infinity side, and I call this as minus infinity side, and I call this as the right tile curve, and this as left tile curve, this as the left tile curve. Okay, the concept of the right tile and left tile are going to be very much used in your I can say the higher end of studies regarding testing of hypothesis, statistical tests, inferential statistics and all. Okay, that is not going to discuss here in this chapter, but I am going to focus more on the commerce and business management related applications and how the normal distribution can be used to solve the commerce and business management related problems when it comes to your mean and SD as your most common data that is given. Now, okay, if you say a condition like this, monthly income of employees follow normal distribution. Okay, they say that monthly income of employees follow normal distribution with mean of 18,000 rupees. Okay, with the mean of 18,000 rupees, they say mean is your mu that is given, and this distribution has got a specific characteristic again, that SD standard deviation is equal to 800 rupees. Now we are supposed to estimate, find the percentage of employees with monthly income that is less than 20k between 16,000 to 17,000, and number 3, it is more than 15k. They say that the given on an average, the mean of the employee salary is 80,000 with a standard deviation of 800. So this shows the variance among the salary levels, and we need to estimate what percentage of employees have got the salary of less than 20,000, what percent of employees have got the salary of I can say in the range of 16,000 to 17,000, and what percent of people have got the salary of more than 15,000. Let me go further. And now, in order to solve such problems when mean and SD is given, basically when you say normal distribution, the entire problem will be structured based on 2 variables. Entire problem is structured based on 2 parameters, I can say. Okay, even in otherwise also normal distribution is also called the parametric distribution, and even it's called the parametric series. And if it's a parametric distribution, parametric series, that's based on 2 important things. One is mean and another is SD. If any of the distributions are based on these two values or these two parameters, that can also be called as a parametric series or a parametric distribution. And as a bell-shaped curve is symmetrical in nature, normal distribution is also called a symmetrical curve, and it is also called as a symmetrical distribution. Now we need to have, as in the case of binomial and Poisson series, okay, we have this particular p of x as a probability density function. Okay, in this binomial series I said ncx, p power x, q power n minus x. Now in the case of Poisson series I said p of x is equal to e to the power of minus lambda power x by x factorial. But here in this case of normal series, we are going to define a new variable that is called as z. This z is a normal variate. Now this has a representation as x minus mu divided by sd. This is just similarity or probability density functions of binomial as well as Poisson series. And here also we have one of such function. Okay, in its simplified version, z is equal to x minus mu divided by sd. Now if you say x, that is called as random variable, mu is called as SNV, and your standard SD is your standard deviation. I put it like this. Okay, now SD is your can say the overall population standard deviation. This is z is equal to x minus mu divided by SD. Now x is equal to any random variable Now mu is equal to standard normal variable. Now SD is equal to standard deviation. By making use of this relation, z is equal to x minus mu by SD, I can have my I can say formulation of a normal distribution problem. Now, if I go to the given condition, they say that P of Z less than 20,000. How many? What is the percentage of employees receiving the salary that is P of Z less than 20,000? 20,000 rupees. Now, if you say P of Z, this has to be converted into your I can say normal SNV, standard normal variate function. Now I can write this as P of, okay, we have this Z form, that is x minus mu by SD form to be converted, that is x minus mu by SD. Now we say x minus mu, P of x minus mu is the given mean value, that is 18,000 rupees. Divided by SD is the given value of SD to be taken. Now we have x value as well as we have SD value, and here a symbol what is called as less than symbol. Let me restructure this equation. This is going to be P of Z less than, this is going to be now P of Z less than, that is 18,000, sorry 20,000, that is given the x minus mu, mu is 18,000, given the random variable value is 20, that is 20,000 minus 18,000 divided by 800. Now I am calculating Z in terms of its SNV, that is P of Z less than or equal to 20,000 minus 18,000 divided by 800. If you say this is 2,000 divided by 800, now this is going to be P of Z less than 2.5. Look at this value, and this has plotted in your normal distribution curve. Okay, we have normal distribution tables, and in that normal distribution tables, we are going to have the Z scores, or Z values, or Z score. And now, based on the Z score, I need to find this corresponding value of this 2.5. And if you take that statistical values, okay, that has been represented by using your normal distribution curve. Now look at this the pattern how it is going to be represented. Now if you look at this curve P of Z, this is minus infinity plus infinity. I am representing what? I am representing the value of P of Z less than 2.5. You can take less than or equal to 2.5 and the value is plus 2.5. Now you say here it is 2.5 and somewhere here just mark, assume that here is 2.5. Now less than, if you say from 2.5 to minus infinity, the complete area to be shaded is what exactly my acceptance area. This is what exactly the area to be taken, to be considered. Now 2.5 to minus infinity. Now this is your 0 point. Now this is equal to 0 to minus infinity plus 0 to 2.5. This area plus this area, that is going to give 2.5 to minus infinity. From here to here, the area to be calculated. And we know from 0 to minus infinity is 0.5 always. But 0 to minus infinity is equal to 0.5. Again 0 to plus infinity is also 0.5. But this 0 to 2.5 to be taken out from your statistical tables. Now this is 0.5 here plus, if you look at the statistical tables, that 0 to 2.5, that is the value is 0.4438. Now this is 0.9938. What percentage, if you say, that is 99.38% of employees fall in the category of less than 20,000. 99.938% of the employees, they are receiving the salary less than 20,000 rupees. That's what exactly the estimation is. Next, if you say 16,000 to 17,000 rupees, that is in between. Now we say in between calculations. Now I put it like this: P of Z here. Now this is Z2 and this is Z1. Z1 is going to be the lower limit and Z2 is going to be the upper limit. Now the same thing can be just slowed down, and now I can say x1 minus mu divided by SD. I am converting Z into a SNV pattern. Look at this. Here it was Z. I have converted this Z to x minus mu by SD form. Now this is less than or equal to P of Z. Now P of Z2, if you say x2 minus mu divided by SD. Now x1 is the lower value of my random variable. X2 is going to be the upper value of my random variable. Now what is the lower and upper values? We said this is 16,000 rupees minus given value is mu is 18,000 divided by SD is 800. P of Z x2 minus mu. X2 is upper limit, that is 17,000 minus 18,000 divided by 800. Look at this. I have this range of estimations. When you say probability and its estimations, we have two different of such kind of estimations. One is called as point estimation and another is called as range estimation. Number one is point estimation and number two is called as range. If you say point estimation, that can be related to your discrete series, and if the range estimations or interval estimations, and okay, you can relate that to your normal distributions. I repeat again. In the case of probability estimation, there are two most important things. One is called as point estimations or discrete estimations. Next is range estimations or interval estimations. Now this is what I said, interval estimations. In the interval between 16,000 to 17,000, 16,000 happens to be the lower limit and 17,000 happens to be the upper limit, and within that range, okay, we need to estimate. When you have such kind of range, we call that as interval estimations or range estimations. Exclusive normal distribution is developed, okay, to have such kind of range estimations. Let me simplify this further, and if you simplify, okay, this is going to be 2000 divided by 800. 2000 divided by 800. Now the symbol here, that is, it lies between 16 and 17. That's what exactly here it is. Look at this, the range. P of z more than this limit, P of z less than this limit. That's what how exactly you have to read. P of z more than, P of z less than, or P of z lies in between this range of x1 and x2 values. Now P of z here. Now if it's 17,000 minus 18,000, this is going to be minus 1,000 divided by 800. Let me simplify it further, and if you say this is simplified further, this is going to be, okay, between your positive and negative limits you get, and you need to be represented in the normal graph. Now this is going to be minus, okay, this is 16,000 to, this is minus, and again yes, that is also minus, this is minus 2,000 by 800, this is going to be minus 2.5 P of z. Now again this is minus 1.25. One is 2.5, another is 1.25. Now if you look at the curve, this is going to be, sorry, this is a minus infinity curve and this is plus infinity curve. I have this values 2 are negative in nature. Okay, this is what exactly the range I'm looking for. Okay, now this is 0. If it says 0, here it is 1.25 and here it is 2.5. This is the range I'm going to estimate. Now this is going to be 0 to 2.5 minus 0 to 1.5, that is going to be this area. This area can be estimated, okay, by having the calculation by deducting the area from 0 to 2.5 minus the area from 0 to 1.5. This total area to be deleted, to be deducted from this small area, and now we are going to get this particular area. That's how exactly you should analyze this, and even there are even other combinations also to get this calculations done, but I am giving a simple version. Look at this, I need this area only. For that, you take from here to here minus from 0 to 1.25. Again, if you say that 0 to infinity minus infinity, I know the value, but not 0 to 2.5 directly, but again 0 to 1.5 directly. You need to look at the normal distribution tables. When you have the normal distribution tables in your hand, okay, I have the values readily given here. Now 0 to 2.5, the value, now I put it like this. This is equal to the area from 0 to 2.5 minus the area from 0 to 1.5. As a convention, I have taken the values here because both are showing minus sign. Even if you take the values in other curve also, there is no difference. It all depends on your either it's a left tail or like right tail. Both the sides of the values are same. Now, if you look at 0 to 2.5 value, now this is going to be what is called as your point 0 2.5 0.5938 minus 0.3944. These are from the statistical tables. Now if you say this is 0.09, 0.0994 percent. If you say 9.94% of the employees, they fall in the brackets of their salaries between 16,000 17,000 rupees. This is how we have to calculate. Take upper limit and lower limit, convert that into SNV. Okay, x1 minus mu by SD, x2 minus mu by SD. Okay, upper and lower limit, and then okay, you have the inequalities in between, that P of Z. P of Z is more than the lower limit, P of Z is upper, P of Z is more than the upper limit, P of Z is less than the lower limit, and have this kind of limitations between intervals between, and then you represent the values according to the normal curve. Maybe you have minus to plus estimations between I can say the two different curves, or maybe the complete area may be in one single tile, maybe in the left tile or the right tile. As the case here, we got the values in the single tile only, that is left tile, and based on that values you can estimate. Only thing is you should know how to take how to read the values from the normal distribution table. That that's all self-learned, leading tables. If you look at the normal distribution tables, you'll get these values. Preferably use the half tile values. Okay, 0 to 0.5, and you get the last value as 0.499, and you can take that as 0.5. Now, the number 3, more than 50,000 rupees. Third estimation, more than 15,000. Now, if you say more than, this is P of Z more than or equal to 15,000. Now, if you say P of Z more than, let me retain this P of Z as it is, more than as it is. Okay, now I have to convert this normal variable into SNV form. That is x minus mu by SD, P of Z more than or equal to. Now x minus mu is given. Okay, x is given. X is 15,000 minus 18,000 given 800. Now this is going to be P of Z more than 15,000 minus 18,000 divided by 800. I am going to get this as minus 3.75. 15,000, this is 3,000 minus 3,000 divided by 800. This is 3.75 minus. Okay, you have to represent this 3.75 in the normal curve. That's what is required now. If you say 3.75, have this normal curve. Plus infinity, minus infinity, and the 3.75 here in this end, the negative tile is there, 3.75, and they say it is more than. If you say more than, you need to move towards this plus infinity curve. This is your more than curve or more than area. If the area is projected towards plus infinity, that is more than. If the area is projected towards minus infinity, that is less than. These two are the conventions to be remembered, to be followed. Now this is more than area. Now this is equal to the area from 0 to infinity plus the area from 0 to 3.75. Look at this. This area added with this area, and I am going to get this total area. This total area is the one which corresponds to the area more than 3.75. Z more than 3.75. This is what exactly it is. More than 3.75. Now 0 to infinity, the value is known by 0.5, and from the tables, if you say from the tables, and this is going to be 0.5 plus, this is going to be 0.5 plus, that is 0.499. These are all the values were taken from your normal distribution tables or Z tables. Well known name is Z tables. Now this is going to be 0.999, approximately 100%. Now 99.9% of the people, they have the salaries in the range of 16,000 to 17,000 rupees. This is the on an average the salaries lies in between, I can say, 16,000 to 17,000. That is the range. And we say again point 3.75 infinity, take this summation of total area and look at the tables, and anyway 0.5 and infinity as value is already there, it is given to you, and this 0.49 you have to look at the Z distribution tables and normal distribution tables. Okay, 499 up to 0 to 3.75, you read it, and the corresponding value is 0.499. You please check the normal distribution tables and verify the values, and you'll be knowing, you'll be having kind of exercise to get the values from your normal distribution tables. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.